How are you, my pre-K artists? Thank you so much for coming back to visit Miss Liso in the art classroom in Google Classrooms. Now, today we're going to continue with our artist. Do we remember who our artist was? Do we remember his name? Tell Miss Liso. Right, his name was Vincent Van Gogh. Now, Vincent Van Gogh was a great artist. He's a Dutch artist who also traveled in France to create his paintings. And we've been talking about creating a still life, which, if you remember, was drawing something that was still. We also created a still life of our flowers last week. Now this week I want you to create something else. So this week we're going to create a landscape with marks by drawing or painting. Now, what do we think landscape is? What do you think a landscape is? We talked about before a still life. That's creating something that's still. We've done a self-portrait before, which is a portrait of ourself, remember? What do you think landscape means? What is a landscape? Talk to your grown-up or your family member that you're with and discuss what is a landscape. Maybe use some clues from the word. Okay, did you pause the video and discuss? Awesome. Okay, let's play. So tell Miss Liso, what do you think a landscape is? Okay, so my friends, a landscape is a picture of the land. So a land could be many things. It could be outside our window, the picture of our neighborhood. Is it a picture of a person? Not really. That's a portrait, right? It's a picture of the land, and sometimes people can be in that picture too. Vincent Van Gogh loved landscapes because he loved painting outside. So let me show you some of his pictures. This is one of his pictures. Do you see it's a landscape? I want you to think, what do you notice about these pictures? How did he create these pictures? Here's another picture of this landscape. Now, I want you to see, what do you notice about this picture? So Miss Liso wants to point out that whether he drew a landscape or painted the landscape, he used something called marks. Now, here's another landscape that Vincent Van Gogh used marks on. Try to point out the marks on this painting from Vincent Van Gogh. Good. Did you see those marks? So marks, my friends, are little lines or little texture that artists create in their paintings to show texture, to show movement. So if we look, let's look back again at these cypress trees that he drew. It almost looks like the cypress trees moving in the wind because of those swirly marks he created. Let's practice. Take your pen, your magic pen in the air like we do in class, and draw swirly marks all over, swirly marks. Here are other types of marks that he did. Show me your pens. Dash, 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 dash. So you remember our lines, straight lines and curly lines and curved lines? Artists created marks like those with line. Let's take a look. One more. Now this is in painting form. Do you see this landscape? It's a picture of the land, so it's a landscape. Do you see how he painted with marks? Do you see all those marks? Sometimes marks are brush strokes. Sometimes they're pencil or crayon marks or other types of drawing marks. So today, my friends, we are going to create our own landscape like Vincent Van Gogh. There are going to be many choices for this art project. One of them is to draw what you see outside your window, and that will be your landscape. Another choice is to use some of the pictures Miss Liso has attached to this Google Classroom assignment. You could use any one of those pictures or create your own landscape. So those are the three options you have. Now, here are the materials you are going to need for this assignment. You're going to need crayons. You're also going to need watercolors, brushes, and a water cup. Now, here are some options if you do not have watercolors. That's okay. You could also just paint using marks if you have paint. If you don't have paint and you don't have watercolors, you can also use markers. Make little swabs of the not little swabs, little swatches in marker form and use that as watercolors. It's like a little tip you could do. So for example, I'm going to take my red. I don't have watercolors. I'm going to make with markers my own watercolors. You're going to take your marker. You're going to make a little rectangle. Really fill it in like that. That will be, you could actually use that when you wet your brush. You could use that to paint with. Okay, so that's another option you could do. And you could do many of those little swatches with the markers to use. Or you could just use crayons. That is your choice. What you feel comfortable with, what you want to do. Miss Liso's probably going to use the crayons, and on top I'm going to use watercolor to create a wax resist. So join me to do that. We're going to take a closer look. Okay, so welcome back. So my friends, the first thing we're going to do is just pick up any crayon, a black crayon, and do you remember our picture box? We're going to start with that. So we're going to draw a rectangle around our paper, and that's going to be our picture box. Just like that. So the next thing we're going to draw is Miss Liso chose to create an imaginary still life. So that's what I'm gonna start with. And I really loved those cypress trees that Vincent Van Gogh had. So I did one big cypress tree there. Then maybe this is the grass part in the background. And I'm gonna remember the marks we talked about, how to create texture and making the trees look like they're moving. So I'm gonna start with those swirly kind of lines. And there's no mistakes in art. So feel free to draw your lines however you want them. But Miss Liso does want you to make sure that you really draw those lines well and thick so that when we use the watercolors on top, they'll come through and show through. So I'm gonna start with these swirly marks that Vincent Van Gogh loves to use in his artwork. Now I noticed that Vincent Van Gogh used many different color greens, and if you have some more, put those in. And remember, your drawing is going to look different than Miss Liso's drawing. Why? Because we're all unique in our own way. And because of that, your artwork is going to be unique and different, just like yours. Just like you. Okay, so after that, I'm going to try to do some more trees. Maybe one over here and one in the background. These cypress trees are kind of wavy. So that's why Miss Liso's kind of drawing some wavy lines. And And again, there are no mistakes. Your wavy lines might look different, but here's another little tree on this side and on this side. I'll roll up my crayon. Maybe I'm going to switch to the light green for this one. I think that might look really nice when we put the, and we're gonna draw many little marks on our trees to make it look like it's moving. So we're gonna do many little marks on our trees. Remember, we're not coloring in, right? We're drawing little marks. Little marks to show texture and movement on our landscape. That's what we're creating today, the landscape. So in this landscape, I already started with my cypress trees. Next, I think I'm gonna want to do some grass. Now, I'm just not gonna color it in because I've learned to do marks like Vincent Van Gogh. So I'm gonna do diagonal marks this way and some vertical marks this way and some side marks this way. Maybe some more lines this way. You could mark up our paper with these types of marks. Going different directions are marks. Filling up our paper with vertical up and down marks, diagonal marks, side to side horizontal marks, side to side horizontal marks, diagonal marks, vertical marks. Okay, and now what I really like about Vincent Van Gogh is his sky. He had swirly, curly skies. Do you remember? Take your finger, let's practice. We're gonna do swirly, curly sky, like if the wind is blowing. So I'm gonna take, I guess I'll take this light blue, and I'm going to start with the swirly sky. Can you do that with Miss Liso? A swirly, windy sky. And then maybe your other marks go this way. And curvy lines this way, and curvy lines that way. Curly line here, curly line there. I'm gonna fill up my sky with curly lines. Those are beautiful marks that we're creating. Just marks. Doesn't matter how you create them or where you put them, as long as you love them and you're filling up your sky with curly marks like Vincent Van Gogh. Okay, so now this is the fun part. I'm gonna take a white crayon, and usually we don't use a white crayon, right? Because white on white paper doesn't show. But I'm gonna show you later how it's gonna appear by doing a wax resist. Now you're going to create more swirly lines of white this time where your white paper is. Not on top of the blue, but on the white side of your paper. We're gonna add white little marks all over the sky. And this is going to be the fun part when we see it appear when it resists the watercolor. So remember to press hard and really make some marks, curved marks on your sky as if the wind is flowing by. It's flowing by. Maybe in between the blue. Maybe we have some marks this way and that way. Okay, when we feel we did a lot of those white marks everywhere, kind of won't be able to see it until we do the watercolors. We are ready for our next step. So we added marks all over our paper like Vincent Van Gogh to show movement and texture. That means how something feels. Maybe the cypress feels a little bit like a rough texture, so we added those kind of bumpy lines. And the wind is moving in swirls, so we added swirls. Now the next step is you're going to take your watercolors. So you're going to take your brush, you're going to hold it in the middle, you're going to dip it in the water, and you're going to create a resist. What is a resist, my friends? The wax is going to resist and tell the watercolor, no, you can't paint on top of me. And it's going to appear and show up, and the paint won't be able to go on top of it. Watch, we're going to wipe, and I think I want a dark sky. So I'm going to go to the black, because Miss Liso wants it to be night, and make sure you really pack in that color. And I'm just gonna wipe. Now what are you noticing? What's appearing? Yeah, so that white crayon now appears. So you're going to go ahead and continue painting, and you're gonna see that waxy crayon appear because it resists the watercolor. Now you try not to paint on top of your trees. It's okay if you do that. Remember, there are no mistakes in art. Just paint right on top of the sky though. You don't have to go around. Paint right on top of that sky so that you can see that resist pop through, or the crayon rather pop through. So I'm going to continue painting my sky, that night color, which is like a black. I'm really enjoying this. This should be relaxing and calming for you. It should not be stressful. There are no mistakes in art. Take your time. Follow Miss Liso. Create your own. Use your imagination. Use a picture, look from the window. You have many options of how to create this beautiful landscape. Okay, my friends, so now I feel like I covered up the sky. Let's see, next I'm gonna do my trees. So I'm gonna clean my brush. Clean, clean, wipe, clean, clean, wipe. Let's see, what color should I do? I already have a lot of green lines, so I think I'm gonna use this purple color. Let me try this purple color. It's a nice dark color. You wanna choose dark colors so that the crayons really pop up. Let's try it. Oh yeah, look. I really see those. See how the marks show up? Just like that. So I'm gonna wet this color a little bit more. You really want it to be wet, and grab a lot of color to show that. And there are our cypress trees, just like that. Let's keep going. Beautiful. See how that resist happens, and how the beautiful light green can really show up on that cypress tree? Beautiful. So next is the grass. Let's see, any colors are okay, friends. Pick whatever color you want. Miss Liso's going to pick another dark color. Maybe this brown. I'll pick this color, see how it goes. You could pick another color. Maybe you pick a dark blue. There are no mistakes. Ooh, look at that. See how the grass resists? Let's try it again. Let's try over here. Oh, that looks cool. So now the brown is the watercolor and the wax is resisting it on our landscape. And we could really see those marks show through with this dark brown as we create our landscape like Vincent Van Gogh. Back and forth, really color through. Just like that, boys and girls. All right, my friends. And that's how we create a landscape with marks. I hope you enjoyed this assignment, my friends. I can't wait to see your beautiful artwork. Please, grown-ups, make sure to take a picture of the artwork and upload it to Google Classroom so Miss Liso can also see. Thank you so much, my friends. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.